good to go.
And action, whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, it's been a while since we've done an update on my F100. SEMA is in just under 3 months. So I've got a lot done. It looks farther away than it really is. Hopefully by the end of this next week, I will have it completely tore apart, chassis at the powder coater and the cab on the rotisserie. My goal is for this upcoming Friday for the cab to be re-blasted and re-epoxied so I can rock and roll, but I've got to have the cab off Wednesday night at the latest, so Thursday I can weld the bottom side of the truck because it's never been off the frame to weld up some of the bottom braces that were done when it was at Hammer Fab. So the bottom side of the bed's ready for paint, the outside of the bed is ready for final prime or final sand and urethane prime and then wet sand and shoot. So the bed is 75% done. Hopefully by the end of this month the bed will be painted inside and out, everything. The cab will be hopefully body worked.
You want to start off in the cab? You want to show them? Everyone's seen the awesomeness going on in there.
We'll start from the front. We'll start from the front, work our way to the back. That way I don't get lost. So the bumper, I put it where I thought I wanted it and it's too low, so I need to raise the bumper up about 1/2 of an inch. I had an aftermarket core support in here and it didn't fit. It threw us off for a couple weeks adjusting and trying to get things situated. Found an original core support and miraculously everything started fitting correctly. So original core support, got a little rust to fix in it, no big deal. Running a factory 11 to 14 Mustang radiator and condenser. No, the condenser's after. We didn't end up using the Coyote or the Mustang condenser. So aftermarket condenser, heat exchanger, all this kind of bolts together and goes in as kind of like one module essentially. Found this really cool billet pass-through bulkhead for my intercooler lines because I couldn't find any way to get my intercooler lines from, in front of the core support to the motor that I liked that looked good. So we found this piece, got the fittings for it, and made the lines. Mustangs usually have their tanks on top. We figured out a way to run both tanks under here. So this is my expansion tank for the motor. This is the coolant tank for the supercharger. Keith made this, well, it started out, it's morphed. So it was just one piece that Zach had made to hold the radiator in. And then since we lost the tanks on top, Keith added this other piece that goes over, so when you're standing looking at it this way, you don't see the fan. Because it's not the most glorious looking thing, but we've always run this fan, at least I have in my last 2 builds, and I've had 0 heating issues, so I didn't really want to run into it's not, you don't hear it. Like if I was worried if I put like 2 13-inch fans or 14s or something that it would just drown out, I don't want to hear it. Anyways, 2.9 Whipple high compression illuminator. Just decided to run ethanol to SEMA and back instead of unleaded. Going through some changes, had to put in some bigger injectors. It's got injector dynamic 1300s in it now. We're gonna run Ignite racing fuel. We're gonna run E114 all the way to SEMA and back.
That sounds exciting.
That's gonna be fun. So it'll make the most power on that fuel and we're gonna run it all the way there and back on that. Everything you'll see on top of the motor fuel line wise will be out of tubing, and then we'll have the tubing anodized so you won't see like braided lines anywhere. Still waiting on my inner fenders from Mike over at Slosh Tubs. They're done, the molds are finished. I'm very excited about the inner fenders, but I'm very nervous because I think by the time they get here, the cab will be painted and I'm gonna have to test fit, trim, and all that stuff with a painted cab. It makes me very nervous. Tim over at Gap Racing built the exhaust on it, so he built a custom set of headers. It's got a Roadster Shop fast track chassis underneath it, and motor placement, we had some problems trying to get any header to fit in there, so they were gonna have to be custom, so they're full length, 1 7/8 to 2 inch, I think, or inch and they're step headers, just call it that. I can't remember the sizes now off the top of my head, brain fart. So he built the headers, go down 3-inch exhaust all the way back. We're still good? I feel like the mic dropped. Got resonators, 3-inch exhaust, resonators.
Is it still there?
Yeah, we're still good.
Okay, go ahead and take it
Make
from
sure
the
to
top
use
right
this.
there.
No, I want you to use this part. Like
That's fine.
This is,
You're the one with the sweaty titties that...
That's all right. I got hot, man. I had to deliver a car. It got hot over there, bro.
Look at that.
Quit talking about my titties.
Look at all the sweat spots.
It's hot. You made me change my other shirt.
This is shirt number 2, by the way.
Well, it's because I was working.
The other one looked like a slip and slide.
Felt like a slip and slide.
Oh, you put socks on too, huh?
Yeah, I didn't want to show off my legs,
Oh,
man.
I wish I would have got him.
I was going to have you do it and then blur them out and be like, you can't see them.
He was working in his swim shoes from his vacation he just got back from.
No, they were my work swim shoes.
They were the swim shoes you'd buy at Walmart to go to Slitterbond.
I think they were Academy, actually. You done making fun of me?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So 3-inch exhaust all the way back, resonators, X-pipe over the rear end, and then it goes into the Roush active mufflers. So I'll be able to change the tone on it a little bit. Not quite like they do in the cars, more or less be on like a switch where I can open and close the muffler a little bit. Even going through the muffler, they're not super loud, so it's not like putting dumps on it. I'm not obnoxious. I'm gonna try to make it obnoxious. I'm trying to make it as quiet as I possibly can. So I'm hoping this recipe works. I got the mufflers, kind of did like a car. So it's got off the headers, goes into a resonator, X-pipe, and then it's got the mufflers at the rear bumper of the truck. So I'm hoping that we can keep it as quiet as possible. So we'll see.
Because the sound profile you're going for is just pure supercharger one.
I want to hear the supercharger. My other truck, you couldn't hear the supercharger at all. It was all exhaust. It was so loud and obnoxious. I didn't want to go through that again. So hammer fab, built my firewall, shaved the cowl, did my trans tunnel for me. The firewall is at a 14 gauge, as simple as possible. It's got I was debating whether to have the master cylinders come through the firewall or not. I thought about hiding them, but I kind of think they look cool coming through the firewall. So obviously it's a manual transmission, so it's got 3. So moving to the inside. So the roll cage in the truck was also done by Gap Racing, and they came up with the idea to like integrate it into the truck. In the B pillar of the truck, it's half in, half out of the sheet metal. Up here, it'll be half covered up. The top bar is pretty much covered up. The dash bar, it comes through the dash, goes down to the kicks, and then there's a dash bar that goes across underneath the dash. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to see it, but it's like right there. Gruesome Designs come over and did the kick panels, and they're actually really cool. The way he was talking about them, I didn't see his vision. Like, I'm not a stereo person. Like, I love stereos. I love having my jams, but like the vision of it was hard for me. So the speaker grill cover comes off. Well, let's just pull this off. So it's 3-piece. So this will be, it's just in there with some tabs now, but this will be riv nutted into it. We're gonna weld some tabs onto the back of the cage, and this will be riv nutted also, and then we'll have bolts that come through here. So once this goes on, it'll pop into place. Then the crossover and the speaker will go in here, and then the speaker grill itself is magnet, and it's stronger. You'd think the magnet would fall out, but it's pretty stout. Resto Mod Air tucked up high enough with that, like I was saying earlier, that pocket that's in there, cut out. We're able to bring the AC up like 4 inches. So
it's nice because normally you can always see half of it hanging down.
And now it's about 1/4 inch above this. So I think it's gonna look really cool. You won't see any wiring harnesses come through. You won't see anything. Welded up the back of the cab. I hate this seam. I don't mind seams. Like I don't necessarily want to get rid of all seams in vehicles by any means, but this seam is so inconsistent. I didn't want to build it with body. I couldn't bring myself to like cut it, straighten it, and then seam seal it and blah, blah, blah. So we just welded this seam up. I've got to hit the tops of these welds, go back when it gets blasted, make sure we don't have anything I'm gonna lose. I did a very, very horrible job when I was a kid welding this up, so we had to cut it out to redo it. Weld those up, fix the back of the cab, and that's pretty much that in a nutshell. The exhaust, I know it's kind of hard to tell because the muffler's on it, but I can hold it up. So it goes to resonators, comes up, and since the bed floor is raised, I hate humps. I guess there's a time and a place for that. I can't stand humps, and I hope nobody takes offense to that because I'm not talking trash about it. But on my vehicle, I'd rather have a shallow floor than have this deep.
I agree.
And
I'm
kick up.
not the biggest fan of like the step
I don't plan on using my
step
bed.
notch in the back.
I just like it to look as close to original as possible.
No, I agree with you on that.
These are not my wheels. And then...
Are you sure? They look sick, man. I was going to compliment
They actually
you.
fit really well. Like, they turn full lock to lock, and they fit in the bed. It's always an option.
It's those white walls.
It's the white walls kills it, or kicks it. So there's a fuel cell. I wanted to have a custom tank built, but timing didn't work out with the custom tank. So this is just a, I don't remember what brand it was.
eBay?
No, I bought it from Summit. But this is where the original fill hole was. You know, I just had one of them lock-in, those black caps. So my fuel pump's actually gonna go in here, and I'll show it to you because it's pretty cool.
Did you say what size that is? Is that a 10 gallon?
15.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
No, it's
That looks smaller.
20.
Really?
This is a 20-gallon tank.
It's good.
The tank that I had-
compact, good size.
Yeah, the tank that I had designed for it was 25, which is a lot. Like, it's a big tank.
Yeah.
Scott from Scott Rods designed, came over and drew it up. It's a broken bracket, so this will, instead of hanging from tabs on the tank, the plate steel will bolt to the frame, and then this will sit inside of it like a cradle. So it'll be really cool.
So Scott's helping you out on this?
He's doing the gas tank on it, yeah.
That's awesome. So it's kind of a little throwback to the
Dude,
OG Gas Monkey days.
A little bit. And I tell you, it takes a team to build a car for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there's no way I could do this by myself. And I mean, we've had Hammerfab help us, Gap Racing's helped us, Slosh Tubs is building the tubs, Scott Rods is doing the gas tank holder, you know, mount or whatever in the back. And we're not done yet. There'll probably be other people that get involved with this as we're going. So
who's doing the painting?
The paint, I don't know yet. I got to find a good painter.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody. If anybody knows anybody, let me know. I could use a good painter. That's that. Let me show you the fuel pump, because the fuel pump is awesome. E85 takes more volume than regular fuel does. So I had to run bigger lines. So it's dash 10, which is 5/8 line, which is pretty big. And then my fuel pump, it's the Aeromotive brushless pump. It's super cool. What do they call it? 5 gallons per hour? Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of fuel, bro. But it says it takes 30, it's like this pump does like 2,600 horsepower or something like that on gas. But they say take off 30%. What kind of bird is that?
I don't know, but he looked like he was about ready to poop.
So it's for a 10-gallon or 10-inch deep tank. So then this come right off the bottom. But since I'm running an open tank and I'm gonna drive it, I'm actually gonna they've got their Phantom foam kits, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna buy their foam kit. I'll put the foam in there and I'll drop this in the foam to help with the fuel slosh, because I don't have any baffling in that tank. Aeromotive recommended cutting a couple extra holes in the rubber to make sure that because this thing moves a lot of fuel. So we'll cut probably double or triple the holes in the bottom side of it to make sure it comes back, but we also want to make sure it feeds it enough too. So
yeah, because the bottom of the foam has a little rubber.
Yeah, it's got like 6 or 8 holes in it now. So we're gonna, I'm guessing, I'll have to talk to them about it too, because I don't want to just assume or tell you all the wrong info, but probably double or triple the holes. Yeah, I don't want to starve it. So I got to work with them on that. I'm very excited about this piece specifically. This is really cool. All right, so I've already seen my wheels. I haven't seen them polished, and y'all have seen them too, because they've been on the truck on my Instagram post. I just haven't seen them polished yet, so. They are the Budnick Gasser G's, is what my wheel is. The rear is a 19 by 12, and the front's a 1910.
Holy.
So that's the back wheel. Very nice.
That looks really nice.
That's my rear tire. Toyo Proxy R888R 345/3019.
That's the good stuff.
I hope this gets a lot of traction. I think it should.
I wouldn't hold your breath. There's not a whole lot of stuff that gets a lot of traction over 1,000 horsepower.
I think this is my best bet.
For a street tire, yeah. Oh yeah.
So I want to get, Toyo also makes a drag radial that I want to put on there, because we've got a friend, you know who he is, Wes Coleman, and I want to.
Oh yeah, y'all are supposed to do a little friendly battle, huh?
Friendly battle. It's not very friendly. If I beat him, I will never let it down. I will be the most obnoxious guy about winning. Like, I'll be that guy if I win. Like, people are like, shut up. I'm like, nope. It's been a long time coming. So his car was broke when mine was running, then his was running, mine was broke, and we never really raced. I've got a couple videos, and I'll send it to you just to make sure you've got it, because I've got one where I waxed him pretty hard. I want you to make sure to insert this to, you know, I want to make him feel bad, especially on our YouTube channel. That'd be pretty good. Wes Coleman, El Weso or whatever on Instagram. We'll make sure to put the tags up so y'all can really get on there and tease them or whatnot.
He owns a bunch of sick cars, mostly Cadillacs.
Yeah, so he's got a Cadillac CTSV wagon, and it's pretty rowdy. I don't know what he's running, but power-wise, but he's making some power.
I think he was...
He must be scared, because after I posted that thing about me running ethanol, he's like, hey man, can you get me some? I'm like, no, man. I ain't getting you nothing, bro. I'm gonna get back to work. Groovy?
Groovy.
By the way, what do you think about my hair? I haven't cut it like it all this year.
I think you got to keep it going. It's almost getting mullet status.
I don't know if I'm gonna cut it in a mullet. I'm getting to where I like it now. Like if I cut it in a mullet, you really just ruin it. Then
Oh, you
it's
just want
like,
to keep it long, slick back?
not like slick back. Like I'm not trying to look like a greaser. Like probably like now. Look, it's a little net. It's probably, you know, a little natural. Just keep it nice. You know, it's a little. I've never had long hair. I had a rat tail when I was a kid, and I had a mullet when I was a kid. But I've never had just like long hair to have long hair.
I had both of those. That's 80s childhood right
It
there.
took a lot to get past the touching my ear stage. That was hard.
It's the most annoying stage.
That was difficult for me. Now it's kind of like, it's not that it's really even that much hotter than having short hair, I guess. It's kind of nice having long hair because it kind of holds the sweat.
Yeah.
If you have short hair, it just seems like it's like running down.
Yeah,
like
it's got nowhere to go but out.
Yeah, it should. So, I don't know, whatever, right? I'm going to be back to work. Enough about my hair. My wife told me it's getting way, like I'm getting too good at the hair flip. She's like, it kind of looks weird with you doing the hair flip. Why don't you shut up? How's that sound? Damn, there's beef jerky in here. These guys stop up. Make sure to put the hair flip in slow motion if it looks good.